If you're not aware, the Addams Family are coming back in theaters with a brand new film on October 10th, 2019. With this entry into the series, it marks the fourth Addams Family feature film. Albeit this is an animated feature. It does honestly look quite fairly decent. It has somewhat of a Hotel Transylvania vibe to it, and honestly, I will likely be checking it out. Starting as a comic panel in The New Yorker back in the 1940s by artist Charles Addams, the popularity spun a highly successful television series, which lasted from September 1964 until April 1966, totaling 64 episodes. That's a great length for a show of that status during that time. Now, I do apologize because I have been talking about the Addams, and in all honesty, they are not actually who I am here to talk about. Exactly 1 week after the Addams Family premiered on ABC, another family of monsters made their way to the CBS network. Now, if you haven't figured it out by now, that's alright. I am, of course, speaking about The Munsters, compromised pretty much by the Universal Monsters. You have Herman, the patriarch, who is basically Frankenstein's monster. Then there's his loving wife Lily, or should I say, the Bride of Frankenstein. Herman and Lily's son Eddie, who carries around his plushie Woof Woof, who is supposed to be the Wolfman, boy? Living with the family is Grandpa, who is pretty much Dracula mixed with Dr. Victor Frankenstein, as he is constantly creating potions in his lab. The family also had a pet who lived under the staircase, a dragon named Spot. Rounding off the family is their niece, Marilyn, a human girl, whom, yes, is based upon Marilyn Monroe. Week in and week out, the episodes showcase the family's outcast status in society, and the hilarious antics that went with it. Everyone in the series were shocked and dumbfounded upon realizing them, including Marilyn's boyfriends, who would always run away out of the house. She seemed to be the only human impervious to the fact that the family were monsters. The running gag always being that the family found Marilyn unattractive. The series was a huge success just like the Addams Family, and people tuned in every week from September 1964 until the show's ultimate end in May 1966. After the series ended, the actors went on to do other things with moderate success. Fred Gwynne, who portrayed Herman Munster, went on to one of his most famous roles outside of the Munsters, and one of my favorite characters in a horror film, Judd Crandall from 1989's Pet Sematary. The Munsters genuinely left a big impact on pop culture. From a 16-issue comic book series by Gold Key Comics, a video game for most computing systems. Hell, even Diamond Select, those fucking toy sculpting geniuses, create a toy line in their likeness. I mean, for fuck's sake, one of the best modern heavy metal singers, Rob Zombie, sculpted a song around Grandpa's Munster's vehicle, the Dragula. So here's my question. What happened to the Munsters? After the series ended, the original cast would reunite to bring the sole theatrical release to date, Munsters Go Home. They followed this up 15 years later with a TV movie, The Munsters' Revenge. After that was done, in between 1988 and 1991, an updated series titled The Munsters Today ran in syndication with a new cast of actors playing the roles. Although it was a 3-year run, it wasn't very memorable. 4 years after that show ended, another TV movie aired, again with a different cast of actors, and this movie was called Here Come the Munsters. This was followed up the following year with another TV movie with yet again a new cast of actors, for some reason including Alfalfa. This one was odd though. It was a Christmas movie named The Munsters' Scary Little Christmas, which I am guilty of watching every season. Now, apart from these, the only thing we really received was a pilot that was never picked up for a series called Mockingbird Lane, a clever reference to where the family resides, 1313 Mockingbird Lane. This was a modern take on the family, abandoning the classic looks and giving it a dramatic storyline. Now, I should say that 15 years ago, the Wayans Bros were attempting to revive the property to no materialization. Honestly, that was likely a bullet dodged. The most recent news we received was 2 years ago, as late night host Seth Meyers was involved in adapting the family into yet again another modernized series. This would throw away the city of Mockingbird Heights and put the setting in Brooklyn, New York. The fact that the Munsters have not been treated as well as I believe they should have, being a huge fan of the series, makes me want to fucking smash something. Okay, maybe not. But I honestly do believe that the Munsters do deserve a comeback. Whether it is a 3D animated film, as the likes of Monster House, Frankenweenie, Hotel Transylvania, and I'm certain the new Addams Family, are loved and are considered achievements. The Munsters can be the same. Even if it is in fact a live action update, it would be nice to see them on the big screen. Fuck, if done properly, the property can be given to Tim Burton, just as long as Herman doesn't do a dance and spin his head around. Or, even, dare I fucking say, Jordan Peele. I think, even though it is a documentary-style film, and the vampires in the movie indeed look for people to kill, the film What We Do in the Shadows may be, albeit very, very loosely, the closest we've had to having a monsters living in a house communicating with normal society. And it's even a comedy movie. I may be overthinking this a bit too much here. I don't know. But I think that the Munsters definitely are a far underrated property. I mentioned it earlier, it's the classic Universal monsters as a suburban family. And as a fan of both, especially with more 3D animated films and comedy horror films appearing, I honestly believe that now would be the right time to bring back Herman, Lily, Eddie, Grandpa, and Marilyn. Especially since it has already been 55 years since the original series premiered. Alright, I think I've gone on a bit too long about this. My closing thoughts? Most of us horror fans, if you agree, love the Munsters. That's not to say that we don't love the Addams Family. But I think that there is more of a genuine story, more development, and even more frightful laughs with the Munsters. If you're a fan of the show and haven't watched it in a while, dig it up again. And if this is all new to you and you've never experienced it before, I highly suggest it. One day, hopefully, our misfit family of monsters will resurface, even if it is in black and white, and I will be happier than anything to experience it. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Pleasant fucking nightmares. And to quote the TV show, I'm just dead on my feet. Aren't we all?